that will depend upon the wavelength or spectral radiation. Hues are perceived as such by the sets of cones in the retina. As brightness, as we just have discussed, if it is luminance that is equivalent to brightness, that will be perceived by the rod, and if it is hue, that is the color predominance of any scene. So, that will be perceived by the cones of the retina. This is spectral purity of color light, how pure a particular color is. Since single hue colors occur rarely alone, this indicates the amount of other color present. It is practically not possible to have a single color, it is very rare that only a particular color is there. So, it depends upon how much the presence of other color is there. A fully saturated color has no white. So, vivid green is fully saturated color. When diluted by white, it becomes light green. So, this is very important. So, actually it is how less a particular color is being diluted by white, that is hue of that color or that scene. Actual hue means how little or how less it is being diluted by the white. If it is not diluted by the white at all, then it is a fully saturated color, means it has no white. It has no white means it is pure color, it is not being diluted by white. When if it is diluted by white, means there are other colors also present there. So, it means it is not the pure color. So, hue is very important as far as color information is concerned. When it is hue, it means it is a fully saturated color, it is not being diluted by any white. If it is not being diluted by any white information, it means that there is pure color present, there is no other color, because white contains all the colors. So, if it is being diluted by white, it contains all the colors. Third is saturation. This is spectral purity of color light. Since single hue color occur rarely alone, this indicates the amount of other color present. A fully saturated color has no white, vivid green is fully saturated color, and when diluted by white it becomes light green. So, saturation means there is no presence of other color, there is no presence of saturated means fully saturated color, nothing else is present there, only a particular color is present. Next is a chromaticity diagram. Chromaticity diagram is a convenient space coordinate representation of all the spectral colors and their mixtures based on the tri-stimulus values of the primary colors contained by them. We will just see the figure in xy plane or two dimensional plane that will show the chromaticity. Figure is a two dimensional representation and it has both hue and saturation in xy plane. Here we have, in this you can see the various colors they are placed at different locations. Chromaticity diagram, note that red, green and blue have been standardized by the wavelength of 700, 646.1 and 438.8 nanometers respectively. X and Y denote color coordinators. For example, white lies at x is equal to 0.31 and y is equal to 0.32. So, this is whitish area, here it is white. So, it lies somewhere at 0.31 of y, 0.32 of white and 0.31 of x. Here it can be blue, here it can be bluish green, blue, purple, pink, red and other colors. So, this is the representation of color in two dimensional coordinate. From here it will be more clear how the luminance matters. If it is a particular color, what is the brightness level of that color? Here it is black, here it is gray and here it is brightness is increased. If we increase the brightness, you can just see that this shows the brightness being emitted out from that color, representation of luminance or brightness, as brightness is the equivalence of luminance or luminance is equivalence of brightness in color information. So, if a particular color is to be displayed, if it is displayed like this in chromaticity diagram, if we go back to the previous diagram, a particular color will be perceived as if it is coming out of that scene in a particular shade. From here it is more clear. We can see that this is the more brighter area, this is brighter area, this also is brighter area as compared to this. These two are green, as these two are blue, but this blue is brighter than this blue and it appears to be coming out of the two dimensional view. So, that is the importance of chromaticity diagram. We see colors as if they are coming out of the picture. Here it is yellow, but this yellow is brighter and it appears as if it is coming out of that picture. Gamma correction, color difference signal R minus y and B minus y, this is the subtractive mixing. E minus y means how much the green is being or red or blue is being diluted, can be regenerated from these two color difference signal R minus y and B minus y at receiver. Color video signal contain two independent information, hue and saturation. For compatibility of monochrome with color, it is necessary to add color signal into a standard TV channel that is fully occupied with Y signal. It is possible because of frequency interleaving. We will just discuss the frequency interleaving in the last topic. Here it is color television camera. In a color TV camera, light from the scene is divided in three parts. One is these are diachronic mirrors. Here it is red light coming out from here, here it is green and here it is blue. So, the white light is divided in three parts and those three parts are red, green and blue colors, and those red, green and blue colors means these are the particular wavelength, set of wavelength, group of wavelength being differentiated from each other, and these three wavelengths or sets are then treated in three different cameras. This is red camera, this is green camera and this is blue camera. These are the video pre-amplifiers, and then after generating the signal, these three signals are mixed. As we have just discussed that to achieve the compatibility, these three colors should be treated as if it is a single signal, and while collecting the information we collect it in three different fashions, and while displaying it again we display it by using three different electron guns as we discussed while we were seeing those compatibility diagrams. So, this is how television color TV camera tube work. It is a plan of color television camera showing generation of color signal and Y matrix for obtaining the luminance or brightness of the signal. What the overall signal is? It is the combination of these three colors. So, what is the brightness level of a particular signal? Suppose it was blue, green and red individually, the total brightness is the numerical sum of these three brightness levels. Color TV display tubes, we will just discuss those color TV display tubes. There are three color TV display tubes. The color television picture tube screen is coated with three different phosphors, one for each of the chosen red, green and blue primaries. The three phosphors are physically separate from one another and each is energized by an electron beam of intensity that is proportional to the perspective color voltage reproduced in the television receiver. The object is to produce three coincident rasters which produce the red, green and blue content of the transmitted picture. While seeing from a normal viewing distance, the eye integrates the three color information to convey the sensation of hue at each part of the picture. As we have discussed, a particular color is not the color, it is combination of those three colors, those three primary colors. Based on the gun configuration and the manner in which phosphors are arranged on the screen, three different type of color picture tubes have been developed. These are delta gun, gun in line or precision in line, and single gun or trintron color. These are the three different types of tubes. The only difference, the treatment of the signal is same, the processing is same. The only difference is how the colors are formed, how those three colors are arranged there. So, depending upon that, these they differ. This is the first delta gun tube. As the name suggests, delta gun. Here green, blue and red, these three phosphors, phosphor for green, phosphors for blue and phosphors for red, are placed at the corner of a triangle, and they are placed at a distance 120 degree from each other. So, it forms a delta like structure. So, that is why the name has been generated delta gun, and similarly the structure of gun is also of that type, that green, blue and red, three electron guns are arranged in such a manner that it forms a delta. So, it is given the name delta gun tube. In delta gun picture tube, three color signals received from green, red and blue electron guns are given to the respective electron guns, and from here electrons are emitted, and those emitted electrons strike at the respective phosphorus coating. Suppose this is green. So, you can see this green strikes at the green, blue strikes at the blue and red strikes at the red, and what we see, as we are seeing the scene from a distance. So, we see the color as the resultant of these three colors. These three colors are mixed, and what we see is the mixture of these three colors, and that is, it is the resultant color. In between these two dotted triad screen and the electron gun is the shadow mask, which has round aperture. So, these three colors, these three electron beams generate the electron being generated from the electron gun. They pass through this shadow mask and strike at the respective phosphorus coating. So, drawback of this: convergence is difficult and involves considerable circuit complexity and service adjustment. In most delta gun tubes, 4 static convergence magnets and dynamic convergence assembly are employed. So, convergence is a problem in this type of tube. Second is, the focus cannot be sharp over the entire screen because the focus and convergence planes cannot remain coincident for the three beams which emanate from guns positioned at 120 degree with respect to each other round the tube axis. So, this is also the same point. The convergence is the problem, and it can not be coincident throughout the screen. The electron transparency of mask is very low, since it intercepts over 80% of the beam contents. So, because it is if we go back and we see the shadow mask, these are the holes from where the electron beam will be allowed to pass through. So, it almost intercepts the 80% of the signal. So, to overcome these difficulties, another picture tube was developed, and that picture tube is called PIL, or precision in line picture tube. In this, the three electron guns are positioned parallel to each other. These are in line, that is why the name given precision in line. And similarly, here we can see there are three phosphorus coating, and these phosphorus coating spots are parallel to each other. They are also in line. Vertical stripes of phosphorus screen are formed, and these three electrons guns pass through here is the slotted shaped aperture or grill or shadow mask through which the electron beam will pass through, and after passing through this they will strike at the respective phosphorus stripe. So, if it is blue it will strike at the blue, if it is red it will strike at the red, and green will strike at the green. It is in this form that these beams are made to travel and strike at the respective phosphorus spot. Comma effect: due to non-uniformity of the deflection field, all the beams are not deflected by the same amount as shown in figure. The central beam deflects by a small amount as compared to the other two beams. So, this we can very well imagine, because here it is the central beam which will be deflected less as compared to the other two beams, whether it is red or blue. For a different non-uniformity of the deflection field, the effect could be just opposite, producing too large a displacement of the central beam. Such a distortion is known as comma and results in misconvergence of the beam. So, this also has got certain problems. If the beams are allowed to pass like this and they are being deflected in different direction, different corners of the raster, then there may be problem of misconvergence, because some of the beam will be allowed to deflect more as compared to other beam, and always the central beam will be deflected lesser as compared to other two beams. So, this is called misconvergence. So, for this reason a third beam or third tube was developed. This was called Trintron or cathode in line color picture tube. In this picture tube, what we do? We have gun structure, electron beam, vertical striped 3 color phosphorus screen, and here you can see 3 phosphorus screen are vertically striped as it was in precisionally line, but the other difference is in aperture grill mask. There we had the dotted shadows, but here we have the aperture which is just like a grill, whereas you can see from here this aperture was not like this. This is the difference. Here we had slots like structure, and there we have the grill, the complete grill, and this is the latest version of the color picture tube which we have. So, we stop here. This is interleaving of color. Thank you very much.